At the end of this video, you will be able to import data into Aspen OptiPlant from an ACCE input file. In this demonstration, we will import an ACCE input file into Aspen OptiPlant. Within Aspen OptiPlant, click Deliverables, and then click the ACCE button. This opens the ACCE interface window. Click the Import Equipment/Structures tab, then in the Import to OptiPlant section, click the ACCE Spreadsheet Browse button. Search for the ACCE spreadsheet file that we want to import, click Import. After a couple of seconds, the process will be complete, and we can close the subsequent information window. Pay attention to the imported pieces of equipment. They should contain sizing information, ID tags, and descriptions. We are now ready to work in Aspen OptiPlant and modify our layout as needed based on the equipment list from ACCE. At the end of this video, you will be able to export data from Aspen OptiPlant to be read in ACCE. As well as importing data from ACCE, Aspen OptiPlant can also automatically transfer the equipment and pipe rack data from Aspen OptiPlant to an ACCE spreadsheet file. To update the existing ACCE data or to add new data, it can transfer equipment and pipe rack tags, descriptions, locations, and dimensions. It can also transfer the Aspen OptiPlant piping quantities to ACCE by populating the MTO, or material takeoff data, in the ACCE spreadsheet file. Updated equipment and pipe rack information should be imported first, and then the related piping MTO can be imported. There are two ways to import piping MTOs. The first is the line-wise option, which means the project in ACCE has been set up to load the piping MTO by line number. As a result, if this option is selected, the BPI, PPIPE, and instrumentation bulk items worksheets will be populated by an interface that adds quantities by line number. Alternatively, we can export the piping MTO by equipment. This means the project in ACCE has been set up to load the piping MTO by equipment. The pipe quantities for the pipes connected to pieces of equipment are added to the Pipe Bulk Item Details tab of the ACCE spreadsheet file, and the pipe quantities running inside of the pipe rack are added to the BPI PPIPE tab of the ACCE spreadsheet file. If the equipment-wise option is selected, the next step must be to choose a PPL file name. This is required for the interface to identify all the pipe racks in the model to differentiate between pipe rack quantities and off-rack quantities. When a new piece of equipment is added in Aspen OptiPlant, publishing this data to ACCE opens a new window. This window is called OptiPlant to ACCE Transfer New Equipment. Use the OptiPlant to ACCE Transfer window to assign the OptiPlant equipment IDs to the ACCE API equipment types. After assigning all required OptiPlant equipment tags to the ACCE equipment type, click the Continue Transfer to ACCE button. Once the conversion process is complete, it generates a report window that lists any errors encountered and/or a message stating that the conversion was successful. Once we've added all the piping, equipment, and pipe rack structures that we need in Aspen OptiPlant, we're ready to send the updated data back to ACCE. On the View ribbon tab under the Show Hide section, select the Pipe checkbox to insert or remove pipes. Click the Add All button to add all available IDs and then click Insert Pipe. The pipes are shown on the diagram. Change to the ISO view. Now we are ready to export the piping data to ACCE. Go to the Deliverables tab and click the ACCE button to open the ACCE interface window. On this window, select the Export Pipe tab and click the button to select the ACCE spreadsheet file. Select the ACCE file that we want to populate with Aspen OptiPlant's MTO data and click Open. We can provide an item description to be associated with piping quantities in the ACCE spreadsheet file. Leave it blank. The parent area associated with the piping quantities in the ACCE spreadsheet file is extracted from the ACCE spreadsheet and displayed in an editable drop-down list. To select the MTO file, click the button. To browse to the Aspen OptiPlant MTO file path, choose area 03 underscore pipe MTO.txt, which is a line-wise MTO report generated from Aspen OptiPlant. Select the Equipment-Wise Output Type option. This means that the project in ACCE has been set up to load the piping MTO by equipment. The pipe quantities that are connected to the pieces of equipment are added to the Pipe Bulk Item Details tab of the ACCE spreadsheet file, and the pipe quantities running inside of the pipe rack are added to the BPI PPIPE tab of the ACCE spreadsheet file. Once we finish on the Export Pipe tab, select the Settings tab. We can create, save, and load configuration settings for data to be exported to the ACCE spreadsheet. On the Settings tab, we have multiple options to choose which data to export to the ACCE spreadsheet. For each item, we can select an option from the drop-down list to indicate whether to include that information. The selected configuration is saved in a configuration file that can be loaded later. This configuration is used as the default configuration in all future Aspen OptiPlant projects unless it is overridden. Return to the Export Pipe tab and click Export. Once the ACCE file is successfully generated, we can minimize the Aspen OptiPlant window. Now we are ready to import the Aspen OptiPlant piping data into ACCE. In ACCE, double-click the Alpha Test ACCE file to open it. Perform a project evaluation by clicking the Balance button at the top of the ACCE window. When prompted by the Evaluate Project window, click OK. On the Reporter window, select Excel Reports and select the following reports: Item Summaries Combined, Item Summaries Piping, Installation Details Equipment, Installation Details Piping, and Installation Details Combined Full. Click Save Selections and then click Run Selected Reports. We can use this file to compare results once the Aspen OptiPlant data is imported. Now we can import piping data from Aspen OptiPlant into ACCE. Click the OptiPlant button at the top of the ACCE window. On the OptiPlant interface window, under the Import page, click Browse. Select the data file generated from Aspen OptiPlant. Click Import, and then click OK once the spreadsheet has been imported successfully. Evaluate the project by clicking the Balance button at the top of ACCE again. On the Reporter window, select Excel Reports and choose the same configuration for the report. In the Pipe Item Debts sheet of the generated report, we can see that the lines of the report have been updated with the new lengths and specifications.